Well, the weather here in southern Missouri is starting to change. This week the highs are only in the low 80s. Gosh, I hope I'm not speaking too soon and maybe this is just a trend and we're heading into fall. That would be great. What that means here in the homestead is it's time to get rid of the summer things in the garden. Oh, good heavens, our tomatoes look terrible. I should have pulled these suckers like 2 weeks ago. So we have green tomatoes that are still on the vine that we need to get off. We've got red tomatoes that I need to hurry up and process. We have some that have been on the vine too long because we've been busy doing other things that will go to the pigs and they will be so happy. And we need to get all of these plants out of the garden. I have been babying these raised beds a little bit behind me. Maybe a week or so ago, we cleared out all the weeds and we planted this garden over here with broccoli and the garden right here with cauliflower. There's been a little bit of activity. Some of the seeds have germinated and are growing. Some of them haven't. So we'll see how it goes. I might have to replant. I'm just keeping my fingers crossed and hoping that these gardens will produce for us before the fall or before winter. So Kevin is out here in the garden with me this morning. We're gonna rip out all those tomato plants, see what we have left. It has been a fantastic summer for tomatoes and peppers, but really for the tomatoes, we've been so blessed. I'm so happy, but I'm also kind of ready for it to be done. It's been a lot of work. It's been a joy and a blessing, but gosh, I'm ready to move on to some other things. So today is the end of the tomatoes.
So the first thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna go around and I'm gonna pick all of the tomatoes that are completely rotten, not usable at all for human consumption. I'm loading them in our black garden cart and they're gonna go straight out to the pigs. After that, we're gonna come back through. Sarah's gonna pick all of the ripe tomatoes that still look good, and then we'll come back together and pick all of the green tomatoes so Sarah can make salsa verde out of the green tomatoes. So that's the first thing we're going to do, is try to get all the tomatoes off the plants, and then we'll worry about cutting down the plants after that.
Is there any filming that should be done right now?
You guys, take a look at these Tabasco pepper plants that we planted this year. We've never grown Tabasco peppers before, and we weren't really sure how they do. And to be honest, early on in the season, we thought these are terrible. They're not producing anything. And now there are literally thousands of them. I hope you can see good enough on the video because they're still mostly green, but they are ridiculous. I bet between all of these plants, I'll try hard not to exaggerate because Sarah always says I'm exaggerating. I bet there's 5,000 peppers. Do you think that's true?
At least.
So, I mean, they are just everywhere. And I think it's so cool how they grow straight up in the air. They almost look, when they turn red, I think it's almost going to look like a Christmas tree out here with all these little like lights on it. Anyway, we're super excited to learn what to do with these, how to make our own Tabasco sauce. I think we're going to be able to make probably a 50-gallon drum full of Tabasco sauce.
No, you don't exaggerate.
No, I never exaggerate. And this is only 6 plants. We had actually talked about planting more than that because we didn't know how they do. Looking at it now, I'm glad that we only did the 6 plants, but wow, this is amazing.
Now we get to rip all of these plants out. It's kind of satisfying afterwards to make everything clean again, to rip out all of the yucky plants and to just clean up. We are going to burn all of these. Since our tomato plants really suffered from blight this year, we're not going to put these plants into the compost and just reintroduce all of that into the garden next year. We're going to pull them out into a pile and burn them. So it's time for the next phase of this project. I'm going to start off with cutting all of the cotton string that we use to support all of the tomato plants. And then Kevin's going to come back through and use the big loppers to cut at the ground level the tomato plants. We're going to be ripping them out. We brought our small trailer over, hooked onto our ATV, so we'll throw it all in there and then take it to one area so we can burn it. To pull the tomato plants out of the ground because of the weed fabric we have here. We want to make sure that it stays down nicely. We'll clean it up, and then at the end of the year we'll roll it up and store it for winter.
One lesson that we're learning as we homestead more and more is that oftentimes our mind plays games on us. We probably should have done this about a week ago, pulling all of these tomato plants out, but it seemed like such an overwhelming job. We thought, when are we going to possibly find the time to do this? It's going to be a several-day project. And that's just your mind. Now that we're actually going on this, I mean, really, it's taking us 3 or 4 hours to get this completely done. And we do that a lot. We kind of play mind tricks with ourselves where we, overestimate how long things are going to take. And then it seems like, it's easy to put off. But if you just get busy and just get to work, it's amazing what you can accomplish in a day. The first row is done. It really wasn't that big of a job. We just cannot get over how well this woven ground fabric has worked this year. We just can't say enough good things about it. The thing that I think is going to be the coolest is that when we're all done with the tomatoes today, I'm going to just literally bring my push broom and be able to sweep all of the old, tomatoes that are left to one end, throw them in a bucket and take them to the pigs and be done. This fabric has just saved us so much work over the summer so that we can really focus on the more important things, like actually preserving everything that we grew.
This is it, you guys. This is the last of our tomato harvest for 2018. We have met all of our tomato canning goals for the year, and we are so happy about that. We've actually surpassed them. We have more than we need for 1 year, which is fantastic. This is just, a cherry on top, the extras. The green tomatoes I'll be using mostly to make salsa verde, which is a green salsa that is normally used. You normally use tomatillos. We don't grow those. We haven't had success with those. But I have a recipe that uses green tomatoes. So we'll be using these green tomatoes for that. If you know any fantastic recipes to use these canning recipes other than salsa verde, let me know. We might actually try some fried green tomatoes. We've never had them before. And then the rest of these are all sauce tomatoes, so I'll make some more sauce.
Well, that is a good job done. It makes me really sad that tomato season is over, but one thing that we're learning here on the homestead is about eating within the seasons, and this season has just come to an end.
Yeah, we're so glad that you guys have joined us on this adventure and learned about our tomatoes and seen how well they did all this year. Hey, if this is the first time you're on our homestead right now, is the perfect time to hit the subscribe button below. Thank you to all you traditionalists who watch us 5 days a week. Before you go, if you will share this with all your friends and family on social media, we would love that. And until next time, thanks so much for stopping by the homestead. Take care and God bless.
God bless.